Hello again to everyone, friends from sunny Armenia, Varinzis. Today we're baking this kind of berry pie. This is the beautiful result you get. It's as easy as can be to make. Watch closely and don't miss a thing. Friends, since my baking tray is quite large and spacious, I'm going to use this kind of spring-form pan, which is especially useful for recipes like this. By the way, I made the bottom with foil to ensure nothing leaks out, and I've also carefully lined it with parchment paper that I cut to fit this pan exactly, which measures 30 by 40 centimeters. That's the same size as a standard baking tray, so you can do the same thing with the tray in your oven at home, making it very convenient. We'll also need any fruits and berries you like, depending on your personal preference or the season, whatever is freshest or most appealing to you. You can use plums, peaches, apricots, or even cherries, and you can mix and match them as you wish. Why use this kind of dough, such a rich and buttery dough? Simply because the richer and denser the dough, the better it holds any fruits and berries, especially if they're large and they don't sink too much into the batter. You know, sometimes it happens, especially if you have a weak or airy sponge cake batter, the large pieces of fruit usually end up at the bottom of the cake, which is not what we want. So, using a rich dough helps keep everything nicely distributed throughout the cake, giving you a perfect bite every time. That usually doesn't happen here. That's why for fruit pies, especially when the fruits are quite large and heavy, we use this kind of rich dough. By the way, I just took the eggs out of the fridge, so I put them in warm water. All the ingredients here, in fact, should be at least at room temperature. And the butter should be melted, and the warmer it is, the better. Beat 6 medium eggs and a cup of sugar. The cup is 250 milliliters filled to the top. All the measurements in grams will be detailed below the video. Add 2 tablespoons of sour cream, any fat content. Two tablespoons of vegetable oil. And 125 grams of butter, which is half a pack. Also add the zest of 1 lemon. I'm sure many of you know this. For those who don't know, try not to touch the white part. It will make it bitter. We also add flour. With the first batch of flour, add a teaspoon of baking powder. And 1/3 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Be sure to keep in mind, our dough rises quite a lot. Tap it on the table a few times like this to get rid of large air bubbles. There's really nothing much to comment on here. Just lay the fruit on top and that's it. Or berries if you prefer. Put it in a preheated oven. The temperature should be 200 degrees. Be sure to preheat the oven very well. This is very important. Turn on both the top and bottom heat without convection. Here's what we ended up with. While it's still hot, I'll sprinkle a little powdered sugar on top. That's it, friends. I hope you like this option. Be sure to save this recipe because the dough is incredibly delicious and very successful. By the way, I use this same dough to make several other variations. For example, sometimes I use fewer berries. Take a look, and here there are no berries at all. I just added a bit of buttery crumble and a little cinnamon. That's also very tasty, and this is the result I got.